and welcome to another edition of the Wittenberg Factor here in our spin-tight studio. Now, my friends, I'm going to try something a little different tonight. Instead of the usual Wittenberg Factor, I'm going to do a little radio show aired on TV. I'm going to call it the Wittenberg Modulation. Just a little experiment here.
But she always goes her place. She's got style, she's got grace. She's a winner. She's a lady. She's a lady.
Yeah, everyone's swooning over Sarah Palin. And you know what? I can't do it. She is freaking annoying. She's like that teacher in school who tried way too hard to get you interested in the life cycle of a flower. Now, I know that that's a shallow reason, but it's not all. I mean, her hockey mom shtick makes me want to go out and murder every single hockey mom. And I also find it a little bit funny that the McCain camp derides Obama's lack of experience, and then what do? They respond by picking someone with just as little experience for the VP candidate. Anyway, you'll know the drill here. It's time for the Rush Minute, as usual. Not going to change that. So, take it away, Rush.
My friends, the time has come. Recent polls have stated there are much more Democrats than Republicans. I'm sure it's got absolutely nothing to do with the fact that the Republican Party has eroded to a shadow of its former self in a matter of a few years. I say it's discrimination, and that we have to respond while we can. That is why I am working with a private contractor to design a liberal-killing cyborg. I think we'll call it a Terminator. Tyler, back to you.
So anyway, I'm not sure if any of you have heard about this one, but now McCain has George H.W. Bush standing up for him. Here's the ad that's been airing on TV. Well, hello there, people. I'm George Herbert Walker Bush. I destroyed the Reagan Revolution, and my seat is the man responsible for almost destroying the entire country. Pleased to meet ya. Oh, and I was president once too. I mean, maybe you don't remember that. It's kind of like a nightmare that you want to forget, but you can't. I mean, no matter how long you try to forget about it, it's always there in your mind. It's always there, just a little bit. I mean, one night you might be dreaming about sugar plums, but it's there. Then you see me. No new taxes, but there sure as hell were now, weren't there? Anyway, I digress. I mean, I've heard a lot here about how John McCain isn't a Republican. I mean, sure, he votes liberal a lot. Sure, he formed the Gang of 14 to block conservative judges. Sure, he was pro-choice before he started running. Sure, he's a strong supporter of the bailout. Sure, he voted against Arctic drilling. Sure, he's buddies with Ted Kennedy and Joe Biden. But read my lips. He's as much of a Republican as me. Daddy Bush being the one to tell us that McCain is a Republican is a lot like Osama bin Laden being the one to tell us that not all Muslims are terrorists. And I know that's a bad analogy, but that's your problem, not mine. All of the Rush Limbaughs and the Sean Hannitys can talk all they want about McCain being the best choice, but the fact of the matter is, I don't see it. McCain is a Democrat, and don't give me any of that lesser of two evils bullcrap. The lesser of two evils is still evil. In fact, I'm not even sure McCain is the lesser evil. Case in point here, let's just take a look at their acceptance speeches, shall we? Here's Obama's.
Democrats as well as Republicans will need to cast off the worn-out ideas and politics of the past. For part of what has been lost these past 8 years just can't be measured by lost wages or bigger trade deficits. What has also been lost is our sense of common purpose, and that's what we have to restore. We may not agree on abortion, but surely we can agree on reducing the number of unwanted pregnancies in this country. The reality of gun ownership may be different for hunters in rural Ohio than they are for those plagued by gang violence in Cleveland, but don't tell me we can't uphold the Second Amendment while keeping AK-47s out of the hands of criminals.
Whoa, hold on here, back up a minute. Obama making sense? Excuse me for a minute while I check the temperature in hell. He's lying, of course, we all know that. He's just trying to unite us so that he can divide us later. But at least he's pretending. We can't even say that about McCain. Listen to this. I am a maverick. I believe in change. We need experience, but change too. So that's why I've chosen one of the most inexperienced people possible as my VP. Fight with me! Fight with me! Pick up a nuke and fight with me! But those of you who make less than $6 million a year are in for hard times. Excuse me a minute. We have to get back to making this country just the way it was. And just for good measure, here is John Kerry's from 2004.
John Kerry reporting for duty. Come election day, I'm gonna lose big. I'll do anything to get elected. Want to see me drop my pants and do a jig? Down they go!
But McCain is so delusional, he actually thinks he's winning. Let's take a look here at his latest speech. We're down 9 points nationally. We're trailing in every battleground state. Nothing short of a miracle will get us elected. We've got 'em right where we want 'em. Excuse me for a minute. God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America. But one thing we haven't been focusing here on the Wittenberg Modulation is the Montana gubernatorial election. Here to talk to us about it is Governor Brian Schweitzer. Welcome, Governor.
Hi, Tyler.
So, Governor, what do you plan to do if you're elected a second time?
Well, Jake and I are keeping that under wraps.
You mean so Brown's got nothing to criticize, right?
Brown? Now let me tell you something about that coyote. He's a pile of dog shit.
Isn't that being a tad bit harsh?
Now you listen to me, you prairie dog. Jake and I know a little something about dog shit, okay? He does because he makes it, and I do because I eat it.
Well, one thing, there are some East Missoulians who are a little bit irked by your taking out the Milltown Dam and, poisoning the water system and all that, but, I'm sure that's pretty minor stuff.
Well, you can't count coup without scalping some heads.
Alright, I think that's about enough of him. Now on to the bailout, I got one thing to say here. Why is it that America is only a socialist country when it comes to Wall Street fat cats? I don't get that. How can John McCain honestly call himself a Republican and be for it? It's socialism. That's all that it is, and anyone who tries to tell you that,
it's for the good of the country,
is full of shit. There were other ways we could have solved this where we didn't have to act like Red China. Just some food for thought.
Dog shit.
Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of the Wittenberg Modulation. I'm just gonna leave you here with this final thought. Fuck Joe the plumber. Fuck him in the ass. Fuck him in the ear. Fuck him with his wrench. I'm Tyler Wittenberg, and the spin is somewhere outside this studio.